Hey guys, back with another pickup video. So as you know, I've been picking up for specific consoles. I've just started my PlayStation 2 collection and I've recently finished my Xbox 360 collection. If you want to check out those videos, just check them out on my channel. There's playlists on there as well. But of course, over the last couple of months, I've also been picking up games for different consoles. And I thought I'd just put them all together in one pickup video and show you what I've got. Because if I try and do individual consoles for every single pickup video, it'll take far too long to build up the games so I've got enough to show. And you know, I'll just forget what I've picked up as well. So I thought I'd just stick all these in one video and make it a bit more interesting to have a bit of variety as well. So we're going to start with the Super Nintendo. Now, I have said I'm still trying to beat all my disc-based systems, get those collections finished before I even get heavily into cartridges, because that is what I like to do the most. That's my favourite thing to collect, is cartridge-based systems. 16-bit being my absolute favourite, of course, and Super Nintendo being my favourite console. But yeah, I'm avoiding getting into that just yet. I want to wait until I've got all the other stuff done. But I have picked up one game just because I saw it and I really wanted to play it, and I've got the system set up here, so I needed something else to play now. I've nearly beaten Donkey Kong Country, and that is Starwing or Star Fox. So yeah, absolutely beautiful condition. You know, there's a lot of copies of this around. Very easy to come by in the box. Now, price-wise, isn't too bad at the moment. I did have to pay a little bit extra just to get this one because it was the nicest copy I saw in there. Yeah, it wasn't too bad at all, actually. The prices for a lot of the SNES stuff are fairly reasonable at the moment. You know, it's much better than it was 5 years ago when the pandemic happened. Jesus Christ. So there you go. Lovely, clean, flat manual. So good. Nice and thick. Full of detail. Loads of beautiful colour photographs. So much information. They did an absolutely fantastic job with these manuals. They really did. You know, I mean, you've got character pieces, you've got levels, you've got so much information and detail. Something that's sorely missing with games nowadays. It's such a shame, but it is what it is. You've got the baggie and the cartridge. Cartridge got a nice shiny label. Nice clean cartridge. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So I put it on when it came. Yeah, it's brilliant. It really is an absolutely fantastic game. You know, a lot of nostalgia attached to it. That's what makes it one of my favourites. But also, it's just great. You put it on, and the music is just... I love the soundtrack on this game. It's so good. And the graphics with the polygons, even now, it still makes me go, how the hell did they manage to do that? Even with the Super X chip and all that, I think it's an incredible piece of work on a system like the Super Nintendo. And to make it run as smooth as it does as well. Incredible. You know, and then you've got all the characters as well. The level design, the pacing of it is something I've always really enjoyed as well. It's really quick, really fun. It just throws you straight into the action. It's a great game. But most of all, for me, the soundtrack, the music is the thing I always come back to, and the incredible speech that the Super Nintendo can do. Yeah, really happy to have Starwing back in the collection. Obviously, one of the very low-end games as far as SNES collecting is concerned, but you know, it's one that has to be there. And you know, I'm glad it's not mega expensive. I picked up one other thing for the Super Nintendo, and it's an accessory. And this was a pure, on the whim, just out of the blue purchase. I was not planning on picking one of these up. In fact, I wasn't planning on picking up any accessories at the moment. That was going to be when I get into the SNES full time. But I'll tell you why I picked it up anyway. I got a Super Game Boy. So in the box, lovely condition. And it's got some slight bit of wear around the edge. Nothing major. Really nice picture on the back. Yeah, I won't take it out, it's just a Super Game Boy. But yeah, the reason I picked this up, I was scrolling on Instagram, doing the old doom scroll on the reels, and a reel popped up out of the blue, because I don't, to be honest, most of my reels I don't tend to get fed that much gaming stuff. It tends to feed me a lot of random shit. I get a lot more like stand-up comedy and politics and all kinds of weird shit coming up. But someone popped up and they were playing Batman, the Game Boy version, on a Super Game Boy. And they had it up set it up from the perspective of looking with the SNES in front of you with the Game Boy and the TV at the back. And I just watched that and I was like, I need a Super Game Boy. I wonder how much they go for. So I jumped on eBay. They were about 30, 40 quid, depending on the seller. None of them were in particularly great condition. These boxes were quite worn down. I was like, that's a shame. So I thought, okay, no problem. Just put a save search on. When one comes up, I'll pick it up because the prices are... Literally, the following day, this one came up for £30 buy now. So I just went straight in and grabbed it. So yeah, really happy to have this. This doesn't mean that you're going to start seeing like tons of Game Boy cartridge pickups, because as I say, I want to get all the disc-based stuff done first, then I'll focus on the console cartridges, Game Boy cartridges, and then if I ever do that, it's going to be down the road. But you know, I still need to do a ton of research. I know very little about the Game Boy. You know, when I had one as a kid, I won it in a competition, and all I got was Tetris, WWF Game, and Zelda. And I think I had Super Mario Land at some point. But yeah, I know very little about the machine, so it's just something I want to dabble with in the future. And it's not something I wanted to get into whereby I wanted to buy one of these fancy new moddy Game Boys with the backlit screens and all that shit. I just 30 quid is way cheaper than doing that. And it's a lot easier for someone who isn't a big handheld gamer, doesn't have tons of nostalgia. I say I had a Game Boy, but it's not like a super nostalgic machine for me. So it would just be a nice way to just play it on my CRT and just pick up the odd game now and again. And you know, people like Ninja Bear Hug Stu will help me out because he lost, even though he's more of a Game Boy Advance guy, I'm sure he'll start going on other Game Boys at some point, and you know, other handheld collectors like Champion 2D Rob as well. So it's always handy watching their videos, and I'll get to learn more. But yeah, that's way off in the future. The main thing is I've got the accessory now. I've been looking at accessories on SNES. Unlike the box consoles and the games, the accessories are still very achievable and very fairly priced. You know, a Super Scope is around 50-60 quid in the box, although you have to try and find one that hasn't got a yellowed sensor bar, which obviously will put the price up because people will know that that gives it a premium, and most of them have yellowed sensor bars, which is quite annoying. The Super Advantage, again, I can't remember, it was about 40-50 quid, something like that. It wasn't expensive in the box, in good nick. I haven't looked at multi-taps. I haven't looked at Mario Paint yet, which I need to look at because I want to get the mouse. Because I do want to try games like Cannon Fodder. I'm assuming you can use the mouse and play it like the Amiga version. But yeah, there's all these little bits that I want. But I mean, I want to wait till I get into the proper 16-bit collecting, and you know, when I'm going hardcore SNES Mega Drive, and I can really just build that collection properly. Okay, so that said, next system is the PlayStation, the PS1. I only picked up 2 games. These are games I've owned a couple of times over the years, but I'm starting to build the PS1 again, little by little. I'm not really hardcore at the moment because I want to get the PS2 done first. But the first one I picked up is a game I've played many times, completed it many times, and it is Strikers 1945 2. I believe I first found out about this game, I'm not 100%, but I think it was Eddie Rollercore that put me onto this with one of his PlayStation collection videos. I'm not a big vertical guy, I prefer horizontal, but this is great. It's really fun. Very easy to play through. I have to whack the difficulty down, I ain't gonna lie. I don't have it on a high difficulty because I'm terrible at these games. But I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. The music's brilliant, great graphics. It's not bullet hell either, so it's very easy to dodge things and to get through it. It's really only the final level that it becomes very difficult, I find. You know, a lot of the early levels, when you die, you continue where you died, but as the game progresses, each level, you die and you start from scratch. And if you start from scratch on the final level, it can be really difficult because to get to the boss and have enough bombs and enough energy and lives. But it can be done. I've done it a few times, and yeah, I love the game. Still very cheap, and what amazes me, a game like that I thought would be one that everybody would want, is still like 10-15 quid in good condition. So absolutely brilliant. Next one I picked up for PS1. I had to get this. It's the Capcom Generations collection. I've owned it before, but I own it again. Yeah, in very nice condition, all complete. It's in actually really nice condition. Look. It's got all the manuals and the cartridge, the discs, all 4 discs and the 2 manuals. There's the others. So the manuals are absolutely beautiful, lovely condition. So this has got many different games on it. The reason I really buy this is for the Blazing Guns disc, which is disc 4. I like some of the games on the other discs, they're great, but disc 4 has got Mercs and Gunsmoke and Commando. I absolutely love playing those games. I've played Mercs to death. I've got Mercs in my Mega Drive right now, and it's great. It plays fantastically, and the graphics look nice, but this version has the remixed PlayStation CD soundtrack, and it's so good. And the graphics just look a lot nicer as well. So yeah, I had to have that in the collection. Again, not an expensive game. I don't remember what I paid, something like 25 quid. You know, some of them are cracked in the case. I got this one, paid a bit extra. Well worth it. Yeah, absolutely superb. Really happy to have that. I'm not going hard into the PlayStation. It's just every now and again I'll see a good deal and I'll pick it up. Okay, right, what's next? Okay, so I have actually picked up a Gamecube game. Yeah, I know. I don't know why I picked it up. No, I do. I don't buy Gamecube. The last few years, well, a few years back now, everyone was doing Gamecube on YouTube, and I've seen so many people getting into it and picking it up. I've never been interested. I had one when it came out, and I mostly played Mario Sunshine. But Obviously I've got nostalgia because I owned one, but I don't have nostalgia to the level of I really want to collect for the Gamecube. Probably because I don't like the controller. I've always thought the controller shit. I know everyone says it's one of the best. It isn't. It's terrible. And I can get on with most controls I can adapt. I really don't like that controller. I don't like the little sticks, the clicky indented buttons and the tiny buttons, and it's just a weird controller. Never got on with it. But yeah, there are a couple of exclusives that are worth owning, but that's not even the reason I picked this game up. And when I show you the game, you'll understand why I picked it up. It is Smuggler's Run Warzones. Yeah, another Smuggler's Run game. So yeah, nice shots on the back there. In lovely condition, all complete. I grabbed this from Jace over at Retro Games because he had it listed as mint. It is. So thank you, Jace. Appreciate that, mate. So why have I picked up Smuggler's Run Warzones? Right. I didn't know much about this version. I just assumed it was like a port of one of the PS2 games. Apparently from what I've read on Google and Google AI and all that shite, what it actually is an updated version of Smuggler's Run 2 Hostile Territory on PS2. And it's got slightly better graphics, which of course because the GameCube's got more power. And it's got more vehicles and it's got bigger areas to travel around as well. So I thought, and I think it's got a few other extra little bits as well. So I thought, why not? I'm a massive Smuggler's Run fan. You know, you'll see my last PS2 video, I picked up both games. Every time I picked up a PlayStation 2, I pick up Smuggler's Run. Because it's like mega nostalgic. I had it at launch back in 2000, played the hell out of it. And I've always enjoyed it. In fact, I was playing the first game a couple of days ago. And it's still great. It just holds up. It's so much fun to play. Such simple gameplay. So I thought, why not just grab that? Now, this is the question, right? I have a Wii. I have a black Wii that plays Gamecube. And I have a Gamecube controller. I don't need to buy an actual Gamecube. But I'm a collector. And I have been looking at prices. Now, they're not cheap. They're not expensive either, I would say. I mean, you're talking what, like about 150 in the box in really nice condition. Sometimes a bit cheaper. But if I'm going to get one, and I'm not saying I'm going to, I mean, this is just a possibility in the future, which probably means I will. It'll be a Platinum, because that's what I had back in the day. And I loved it, the Platinum GameCube with the orange light. It's gorgeous. You know, so I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to rush into that at all. It's just if one comes up in at a good price at some point. Because there are a few games on there I've seen like that, Mario Sunshine Essential. I love that game. 1080 looks really decent on it. There's a game called Geist, which I played once, can't remember much about it, but it's an exclusive. I think it's a horror-based first-person shooter. That could be interesting. There's F-Zero on there, looks alright. There's a couple. Luigi Mansion I don't like. I played that once, so I didn't think much of it at all. But there's the odd game on there. I think Mario Strikers as well was pretty decent. I think that's what it's called, the football one. So yeah, I can either just play them on the Wii, or I can just get a GameCube and just have that in a set, which is most likely what's going to happen at some point. I'm just not going to rush into it. The other reason I also thought about getting a GameCube, and this is why it puts me off a little bit because it can get really expensive, is the Game Boy player. So you can play your Game Boy Advance games. I didn't actually know until recently. Apparently it plays original Game Boy as well. I didn't know that. I thought it was just a Game Boy Advance player. Yeah, because I don't want to get, again like the Game Boy with the Super Game Boy, I don't want to go down the road of getting a bloody fully modded, backlit, stereo modded, USB chargeable Game Boy Advance and all that crap. I don't want to spend all that money. But the Game Boy player is really expensive at the moment. It's gone mad, and I think most of it probably comes down to the disc as well that has to go with it, because a lot of the loose ones are just the player. So then if you want to get in the box, that bumps the price up. Then you want to get in the box complete with the disc, it bumps the price up. Yeah, I've gone a bit mad, them have. So I'm going to bide my time and probably pick each bit up one at a time. I'm not going to have to get it all in one. But yeah, obviously then it would open up the door to Game Boy Advance collected. But again, I'm not just trying to go mentally. I want to really just focus on my consoles because that's my bread and butter. That's what I love the most to play. But down the line, you know, when I've done all the consoles, what do I collect? You know, I've got to find something. Then the Game Boy Advance is very easy to collect for because it's like a mini SNES, like a 32-bit Super Nintendo. So it's incredibly easy to just find a shitload of great games on it. And it's got James Bond games that I haven't played, which is always a dangerous territory for me. So yeah, we'll see. But anyway, at the moment I've got Smuggler's Run, so when I can find time or space, or probably even later in the year when I've got a new game room, then I'll be able to have the Wii set up and just play Smuggler's Run. Although by that time, knowing me, I'll probably have a bloody GameCube anyway, so we'll see. But nonetheless, I got Smuggler's Run Warzones on the GameCube, so there you go. Right, next one. Going further back to the 8-bit generation. Again, I was not going to get involved. I was going to wait. I want to get a Master System at some point, a Model 1. It's essential to get one of those back for a lot of games that I love on that console. And this one is one of my favourite games I've played on. I haven't played tons over the years, but this one, I absolutely loved it when I played it a few years back. In fact, I say that, probably, I don't know if it was 10 years back, it's been a while. But when I got this game and played it, I absolutely adored it, and I've been wanting to get a mint copy of it, and I did. And it is RoboCop vs Terminator in fantastic condition. Really happy with this when it arrived. Very good price as well, not expensive. And there you go, just bloody manuals. I wish they'd made it so the manuals hold in properly, but look how nice that is, how clean it is, look how flat the manual is and how clean the cartridge is. Obviously these black cartridges, they tend to get a shitload of scratches. This has got some not there, but it's very minor. You know, a lot of the time you see them, they're just getting scratched to health and being put in and out the console. But yeah, I was so happy with this when it arrived. It's in lovely condition. And I've owned the Mega Drive version, and I prefer this one by a country mile. Mostly because the Mega Drive music annoys the shit out of me with that stupid voice. That's what bugs me. The graphics are not great, but the music, that voice, oh my god. And she keeps saying Terminator, it's so irritating. This one, I love this 8-bit music, it's so good. And when I had this back in the day, yeah, like 10 years ago, whenever it was, I'd have to check my YouTube channel. I was playing this for like a week or two solidly every day, just trying to beat it and absolutely loving it. Couldn't do it. And then I thought, oh, I'm just going to do a gameplay video. I don't know if it was a Saturday night special or something I did. And I put the camera on, started playing the game, and I ended up completing the entire game, doing a full playthrough. I just got very lucky, and obviously my skills came into it with the first few levels because I knew how to do them. I'd done them so many times at that point. But I ended up completely clocking the whole thing. So if you want to check that out, just check it out on my channel, RoboCop vs Terminator Master System, and you can watch my whole... It's only about an hour, I think, it took me to beat it. But what a game. So good. So many great levels. Very simple tasks to do. Brilliant music. Really fun. Yeah, absolutely essential. So yeah, I'm not going down the Master System route just yet. I will eventually get a box one, model one. Not easy to come by. I haven't found that many that are in great shape. And of course, they're from the 1980s, so you can't expect the box to be perfect. But I don't want the polystyrene bust inside. I can accept some wear to the outer box, but not the polystyrene. So yeah, when I eventually get one of those, I will get stuck in because there's a ton of Master System games I want to pick up. And from what I've been seeing, they're still very well priced as well. They're very easy to come by. Nothing that I'm going to want to buy is going to be ridiculously expensive and cripple me, so that's great. Right, so the final thing I want to talk about is Atari. Now, I know a lot of people don't give a shit about Atari, but I thought I'd just, you know, I've mentioned it before on my channel, so why not? So I don't collect Atari. I don't go that far back with my collecting. I played an Atari 2600 as a kid one afternoon in a friend's house, that was it. And I've owned like emulation machines over the years, and I've played it on emulators, and I've enjoyed some of the games. They're really, really fun. But I never wanted to get into buying actual Atari hardware and actual Atari games and paying all the money out, and it's just not for me, it's not my thing. But I do enjoy playing the games. And of course, this new version of Atari now have the 2600 Plus and the 7800 Plus. I own them both, they're down there. They are absolutely incredible pieces of hardware, love them to bits. But I made a promise to myself that I would not go down the route of buying old Atari games because you can play them on the new hardware and vice versa. So I'm only picking up the new games they put out. So far I've got Berserk and Mr. Run and Jump, both excellent games. Berserk being a re-release, Mr. Run and Jump being a homebrew, which is an absolutely stunning game. Well, it's worth buying 2600 Plus just to play Mr. Run and Jump, I think. Great game. But last year they put out some more games. There's some more games that hopefully will be coming out in August. They were supposed to come out last month, still haven't, so they've been put back to August. So fingers crossed they do make it out again. There's another 5 coming out that I'll be picking up. But I've started to chip away at the games that came out last year that I hadn't picked up yet. So the first one I picked up, it's in a box protector, is Bentley Bear's Crystal Quest. I mean, look at that artwork, absolutely stunning. So this game, you get a loose cartridge free with the 7800 Plus, and I've played it and really enjoyed it. This is still sealed because I haven't got any way to set my 7800 up at the moment to play it. But yeah, it's a really nice little platformer. This, I believe, is a homebrew as well. So Atari are getting a few of the homebrew people and they're licensing these games and putting them out, which is absolutely brilliant. You know, stops all that homebrew stuff we have to pay a fortune because you missed out on the first release and people want to take the piss. So good on the Atari for doing it. But yeah, great artwork. Look at that 7800 logo as well. Absolutely fantastic in the silver box. I really like what Atari have been doing lately. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into that and finishing it. These next ones only arrived yesterday. So the first one I picked up, as I say, I've got Berserk over there, 2600 version. I've now got the 7800 version. So I'd be interested to see what, oh, look at that artwork by the way. Look how nice, how good is that? 2025 and companies are releasing cartridge games in boxes that look like this. What a golden era. It's so nice to see this happening. I wish more companies would do this. Atari are absolutely killing it. There you go, see some screenshots. I don't know if you're going to have to see anything. But yeah, I really like Berserk. I've never played it, and then I played the 2600 version when I got my 2600 Plus back in, I think it was 2023, Christmas. My parents got me that. Me and my dad played it on Boxing Day. It was great. Really simple game, but so much fun. So I'll be interested to see what the 7800 version offers differently. Because obviously 7800 has a nice upgraded graphics. Yeah, looking forward to that. So that's Berserk. And then I've got its sequel, which is called Frenzy. Another one, look at that. You know, if anything, these games are not expensive, and if anything, it's worth owning them just for the box art, I think. I think they look so nice on the shelf. They look nice on the side, like with the logos. It's only simple, they've only got the word in. But if you put them face on, man, they make a great display piece. And yeah, as far as I know, this is more of the same, but I don't know how it differs. I haven't done a lot of research into it. I just know it's a sequel to Berserk. I don't even know if this was a homebrew one or not. I know very little about Atari and television era. I'm still learning. You know, I wasn't around for that. I'm too young for that. But you know, I have watched the odd person who's older than me that does like this stuff and grew up with it. Yeah, really happy to have that one. And then the last one I picked up is an interesting one, and it's called the M Network Collection. Again, I don't know anything about the origins of this, but this one is very cool. It's 2600 instead of 7800, and it's got Armor Ambush, Star Strike, Astro Blast, and Frogs and Flies. Now, from what I've seen of the gameplays of this and the screenshots and back, they appear to be Atari versions of Intellivision games. I'd say I'm absolutely clueless as to the history of this, whether this is legitimate or if it was a company involved and a splinter group, or is a homebrew, or I have no idea how this came to be, but nonetheless I'm really glad, because Astro Blast is blatantly Astro Smash and I love that game, so I had to grab this one. So yeah, just nice additions. I mean, the boxes are so good. Look, the box art, the way they do the logos, the way that they put at the bottom there what machines it works on, what controllers you can use, the level of detail and the effort that they're putting into this. You know, Wade Rose and Atari has really turned that company around, and they're doing some phenomenal work now. Really happy. So yeah, and as I say, there's 5 new Atari games coming out, hopefully coming out next month. I think they're already available on the American website. They're just taking a while to come out in the UK, unfortunately. And all of them are games I want to play. There's Tiger Heli for the first time ever on an Atari console, apparently. That looks really fun. I've played it before and I like that game. There was a few others, and I can't remember all of them. There was a circus one that looked really interesting. There was, oh god, I can't remember. I'll have to have a look and see what they're called again, but there's some really interesting games. There's one that looks like a Gauntlet type of Dungeons and Dragons, which would never be my kind of game, but because it looks more like Gauntlet, I kind of like the idea of that, so I'm going to give that one a try. Really cool artwork as well. Yeah, really like this. It's so much easier when you're just buying current modern Atari. Because, you know, I'm collecting enough systems. If I start going down the Atari route, Jesus Christ. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's been times where I've looked into like Atari and television, the Philips, it's just got Video Pack, I think that's what it's called. The Coleco, which the games on the Coleco look so nice. It would be so easy to go down that route and lose control. So, yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to focus. I've still got to finish the PS2 off, and I've got PS1, N64, and I want to do SNES, Mega Drive, and Master System. And I'm going to be honest, the Dreamcast is probably going to make a reappearance at some point as well. So yeah, it's going to be a busy year this year. Right, so that's everything I've picked up now. I'm up to date. Coming up, we've got more videos. There'll be more PlayStation 2 videos coming up, and any other systems outside of that I pick things up for, I'll be showing you those as well. So keep your eyes on my channel for new content coming up. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below as always. I'll see you in the next video.